Kasheme, conscious listening.
Between Warm and the new Liftoff album, which are two different, aesthetics. I like concept albums, I like albums that, well, put it this way, for me, albums anywhere are more like storybooks and storytelling and through sonics, And then, of course, you have the literary part of it, which, is the story of who, the characters that played the role in creating this album. It's a sonic journey. And when you listen to an album, and I come from that era where you put on the album and kind of play, you listen to it, and you listen to the sonics and, the layering and it's another world, I think people miss out on that actually nowadays. They don't take the time. Everything's moving so fast, people don't take the time to sit down and listen and go through the process of, what the album was really created for. You know what I mean? So it's, I like creating sonic little books, little journeys, little, concepts and things that people can, jump into or escape like you would a book. To be honest with you, when I'm by myself or with my partner or whatever, I'm kind of more listening to a lot of jazz, a lot of krautrock, as you mentioned, and some ambient pieces. Either that or I'm creating my own stuff. I like the idea of being able to create my own moods, if you haven't noticed. But I like to synthesize the moment, capture it in a sense, which is also cinematic too. It's like photography. You're capturing the moment. But so everything from, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in and where I'm at. Berlin lends itself to a certain type of music that I listen to. Chicago's something else too. And it has a lot to do with the environment. And of course, most of my record collection is in Chicago, so I can kind of pull off of what I want to. And a lot of times, especially nowadays, Mike, in Chicago, I would have kind of collected a lot of music on the way. So I'm spending a lot of time kind of going through stuff, trying to file it away now when I'm at home. But I kind of listen to a very vast array of music. I lived in Berlin about 7-8 years ago. Because I had before that, not so much lived in Berlin, but came to Berlin a lot, like kind of in the early 90s. And that period of time, it's like after the wall came down and it wasn't developed there. I think the only major club you had there was two. You had two clubs. We had E-Work, Sven Both was playing there, and then you had Tresor. And early 90s, man, it was very, blank. Not even blank. It was fucking war-torn. A lot of buildings were abandoned and different things, It wasn't scary. It was definitely underground. Let's put it like that. So when I left there, it was like that. And when I returned, definitely more developed. Underground still, but more developed and kind of coming into its own, So it was interesting to see. Berlin has changed. Every place changes, and it's kind of, in an interesting space. It's not as edgy as it used to be. Moritz and Marcus and Estes were, those are my guys, Of course, they're, hella famous now, but Marcus and Estes, he had a record store, which is pretty famous now, whatever the case may be. But that record store was the downstairs of where we were staying, And so I was in that record store, and so that was fun. I found a lot of records, because he had had the store for a while, and where everybody else was into techno, I was into more soulful stuff. So they, stuff that they didn't pay attention to, I was able to get. And when I went back and I was fascinated by what I saw, and I was like, wow, this has got a lot of potential. I started kind of collecting a lot of krautrock, a lot of soulful pieces and jazz and stuff like that was probably looked over in the territory from where it is, and not appreciated. But oh my God, man, it's like a treasure chest of music and obscure stores, and so. I mean, by the time I decided not to live there, I mean, I probably collected a good couple thousand jams for sure in Berlin. My superpower is studying things and watching and paying attention to things and constantly using source material. You know what I'm saying? And the world is very vast. As you know, you have history, you got sonics, you got experiences, you know what I mean? And it's endless, often depending what kind of moods I'm in. I mean, I get inspired by films. I like to find films and things in nature. But it's just endless. For me, my spiritual practice is an amalgamation of different things, but I am also a what you call a babalao. So I'm a priest, high priest in the Yoruba culture. It's something I've been into for should be 27, 28 years, and it's a constant practice and studying of things. It's the Yoruba culture is a culture of a sect of people that are in Western Africa, and coming from Nigeria, which is where some of my lineage is. And so that definitely keeps me tuned up. You know what I mean? Constant reverence for ancestors and nature, which is what it's about. Of course, no diss to how people deal with themselves spiritually, or churches, or whatever the case may be. And oh my God, we need to hide ourselves from, oh my God, that was bad. Okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Well, guess what? I want to dance and rejoice, and celebrate myself. Celebrate my the Orisha that's in me. My spirit, my head, my body. Because this is how you interact with the world from here, right? You gotta celebrate that. You gotta, engage. It feels like my living. Yeah, it feels like a warm living room. I mean, you can feel it, and it's a certain spirit here in the space that allows you to kind of just be in that energy. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate a space like this, and it's very, it's a different kind of connection, and people are here to engage intently and be focused in on music and listen and appreciate, and that's what you feel. That's what you feel. Kind of like ancient future album, it's kind of like looking back at stuff that I, got influenced by, and my versions of what I was influenced by when I was younger, or that kind of thing. And I'm just gonna play some jams. We're just gonna listen. It's a big living room, and we're gonna do what we do.